Hi, this is a catch-up of what I've been doing on the layout since my last video. You'll see that the hills have been made using chunks of polystyrene. This is because the portable layout might get knocked and trees may get dislodged. This way I can just poke them back in. The back of the yard is a narrow gap between the end of the layout. This was a challenge, so I decided to make some rocks and use these to combine into a cliff face. So the moulds were plastered to a backing board, and then this in turn was glued to the actual end of the layout. As you can see, it fits quite nicely. The second board has been made, and this will be adjacent to the station building, hence the cliff overhang, and will also just fit nicely into place. Here you can see that I've put a layer of plaster cloth over the polystyrene hills. This just will give extra strength. I'm now ready to move it into another room, and it's a good opportunity to see the underneath. It's looking quite tidy at the moment, but by the time I add in LED lighting for buildings and a tramway, I'm pretty sure the wiring is going to get very messy. The unit has been painted a pretty boring colour, just so it doesn't distract from the scenery. And of course, painting the hills with this will help hide the white once I do start applying scenery to the hills and the like. It also provides a protection so that I can use solvent-based spray-on glues. If I didn't have the paint surface, they would just eat away at the polystyrene. As you can see, the main yards have now been ballasted, and even a few weeds are starting to grow through. I should have actually painted the rails before I did the ballasting, but I can still do that afterwards. For this I use a marker pen, weathering marker pen. Bit of an opportunity here to see the rocks at the end of the layout and the amount of space that I had available. I inserted some pieces on the top rather than having a flat profile, which wouldn't be very realistic. It took me a couple of goes with the paints to get it just so that it would be acceptable to me. I've also placed catenary towers along most of the track work. This area here will have a station that will fit in there, and this will become the subway. It will be viewed from the side and the top will be covered. Right, let's put it all back together. So in this corner is the temple, which will just lift off as required to give me access to my controls. And on the left hand side will be hills over the subway. So I have two pieces which will fit on over the top. And the second one. Reconnect the track. And of course I need a tunnel portal. For normal maintenance, I'll just remove this portal section, and then I can use this track rubber on a wand to get inside to clean the track. I have an extension that will attach to it so I can get right along to the far end. Plus I can also open a trapdoor at the other end of the layout and clean from that end. A piece of perspex will protect the subway. Once scenery has been applied to the lift out sections, the joins will be much harder to see. To reduce the chances of clothing snagging on these towers, I've cut off the portion that had the overhead wire cross ties. Many years ago I bought this auto reversing unit. I've never used it and just hope that it does work. So it's going to control a tramway which will run from one end of the layout around the curve and then stop. The tram will go back and forth with a stop in the midpoint. And of course I need a bus. My daughter gave me the set. I've added an extra place for a station and it will do a loop. The two sides are not parallel, but that won't matter. It was the only way I could fit it in. I haven't decided what buildings I'll use. I'll have to steal some from my main layout. I have decided to install LEDs in some of them. This area inside the bus route will be commercial buildings and residential housing squeezed into this corner. I'm using taller buildings as a backdrop for the mid-level. This is basically to provide a visual break. And these will provide a backdrop for the top level. Taller people standing close will still be able to see over the top. I have provided one low building so you can get a sneak preview of what is happening in the yard. I still need to fit the station canopy, and in fact there are quite a lot of other things that I can now do, but they'll be mini projects carried out during the winter months. So for now it's just a question of cleaning the track and getting some trains running. Thanks for watching.